We back? We back? Yeah, I think we're back. I think my microphone is working now. Hopefully, thank God. I mean, oh geez, it was literally in the back in the back studio. I was like, all right, I figured it out. My microphone. I got a pop filter. I changed the settings on it. I get on a StreamYard. I ask John. I go, hey, how's my sound? No crack, no more crackling. He's like, nope, still crackling. I'm like, well, crap. Well, here we go again. It's got to be StreamYard. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out when I'm off next week. Well, we're already talking about it. No show on Saturday. I will be out doing some importing and exporting on some apples, so I won't be around. And then next Tuesday, I know I was supposed to take this Tuesday off. Not doing it. So next Tuesday I will be off. Hopefully, I'll figure my sound out. So everybody, welcome back to another episode of Whitty Reviews on the Chateau de Mars Hill Network. I am your host, Steve Whitmer, a.k.a. Slick Whitty, a.k.a. Baron of Banville, a.k.a. the most feared man in Indy. It's starting to look that way. I mean, I got presidents of energy lobbies coming after me. I got city councilors. I got Politico journalists coming after me, and all their goons. Is actually quite amusing. But first things first, if you aren't already, make sure you hit like and you subscribe on Whitty Reviews on YouTube. Make sure you're following Indie Reporter. Hey, you know what? Us and the team are doing some good work out there. We're getting a lot of traction, and things are looking good. We're adding more contributors daily. Hey, I got some people that it's possibly in the federal government. So, don't be afraid to come out and contribute. Everything is secret. Also, follow yours truly on Twitter. I'm King of Witties. Still shadow banned, of course, because liberals are a bunch of punks and they can't handle criticism. So go figure. Everybody, welcome. All right, hey, I'm sounding all good. Right on. So anyway, a lot of stuff that has happened. We're gonna do a little catch up. I think we're going to talk some bills because our favorite state representative, at least one of them, Jim Bean Lucas, will be on Mouthwash right after me, 9 o'clock on the Chateau de Mars Hill Network. Mouthwash, minty fresh take on politics. So was getting some heat last week with state legislators, local officials, and people just inside the GOP where they're a little upset with me. And some people were like, you should apologize. And you know what my response was? No. In fact, I'm going to go harder. I'm going to go so hard. Yeah. So there's a reason why I criticize the GOP so much. I know D2 Indy definitely is shadow banned. And that's probably what happened. Hey, I'm sorry. Ask my producer. He got what is it? Collateral damage. He had the Capitol Police sent after him too. Sorry, no refunds. So, I criticize the GOP a lot because I'm part of the party and, I want us to do good, especially that I live in Indianapolis. I am stuck in this fucking cage with these animals. I'm stuck in Wayne Township. That's a 60-40 district. I'm stuck in Indianapolis where the GOP has just given up and they're just bending over and let the libs have their way with them. They're basically getting their ankles pinned behind their head and they're just getting ramrodded with no spittle, of course, on a bed of nails. And I understand that they're mad. And here's why. They can't handle criticism. There's no self-reflection from them. They're getting soft. And I don't know if it's just a Marion County thing or it's a whole party thing. Where they say, hey, you know what? We just got to protect the shield. And for me, it's just, no, how can we do better? That is the goal. That is the mission overall. How do we win? Because we are losing so bad in Marion County. And that's all I want to do. Now, what does winning look like is the question. Well, first off, it's about winning elections. That is kind of the main goal. Hey, fundraising is fun and all, but what's the point of raising money if you're just going to spend it on a losing election? That's, hey, I know, okay? I know how much that sucks. I mean, the producer, of course, he knows very much well. He knows very well. So I just want to give a couple of examples of where we are in the party right now. And very easy things to fix. Let's go into indierepublicans.com and check out their local clubs, huh? Because there was an issue with Wayne Township last week where nobody knew there was even a meeting. And if we scroll down into the clubs, what do we see? I live in Wayne Township, and what is it? Next meeting is scheduled for May 23rd, 2024, by the way. Not 2025, okay, but 2024. I was at that meeting, and this is right before the caucus. I thought we were going to vote for whoever's going to be running for Congress against Andre. By the way, did you see there's a guy who's trying to primary Andre? He might have a legitimate chance. He's pretty well establishment. But it's not just that. Look at the calendar. It ended at the end of last year. And there's nothing updated. Look, it's January. Oh, it's February. March. April, nothing. Who's in charge of this stuff? This is called accountability. But I will tell you what, it doesn't stop there. Let's look at just be able to contact, we're going to talk about my shitbag state rep here in a second here. But if you don't go to contact my office, here's this masochist Moed, but don't worry, we got a new nickname for him. If you go share my opinion, what do you see? Hey, Moed, Democrats, where am I supposed to share my opinion, huh? Somewhere on blank? And don't worry, it's not just the Democrats. We're gonna go through the House and a little bit of the Senate. But when I was doing a little bit of research for today's video, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check to see the freshman state legislators. And here we go, Danny Lopez, the guy that worked for the Pacers and Sports Entertainment. I believe he worked on the Holcomb administration at one point too. But my God, look at this. He has one authored bill, one co-authored bill, and then a resolution. That's it. That's how you get the that's how you get the hit the ground running. No. Let's look at Andrew Ireland, okay? Hey, freshman, this is how it's done. Look at how many bills he has authored. Look how many bills there's a co-authored, and of course, he's part of the resolution. And like actual bills, all right, not some self-serving BS like other people, but like things that he said, hey, I'm going to be working on this. This is what I want. Promises made, promises kept, as they would say. But by the way, I saw Craig Haggard last night at a meeting, and he saw me, and obviously I saw him. We didn't talk. He had everybody, it's not anything against him, of course. It was that's what happens when you have speakers show up, especially state reps. Everybody wants to flounder around you and ask questions and everything. And we all know Haggard can talk. Yeah, you know what? I do feel like Will Shore should be on top of that thing. I don't know who the media person is. There's no communication at all. Nobody knows what's going on unless they're like in it. Someone asked the Washington Township chair. Maybe she knows. So anyway, share your feedback. How? There's nothing here. Same thing with Julie McGuire. Nothing here. I've actually changed these like maybe a half an hour ago just because I wanted to see. All right, let's go to our boy Aaron Freeman here. He is kind of based, by the way. I know some people, hey Drew, I know some people don't like Aaron Freeman, and that's fine, but he was one of the reasons why that SB 52, that whole blue line thing, did not get completely out of control. I watched that committee. The guy was Freeman did a real good job. But anyway, but you know what he's really not good at? Trying to contact him. Click here to contact me. Okay. Where? How am I supposed to contact you? And even the Speaker of the House, Todd Huston, Houston, we got a problem. I can't share my feedback with you, bud. What's going on here? But listen, all right, I know I crap on top of the GOP, and that's fine. But let's go to our the Indiana House Democrat Caucus. Now let's just pick someone, huh? Let's pick the person. Hey, let's pick the person that called the Capitol Police on me for no reason. Now, can I share my opinion with her of how much of a terrible person she is? Yeah, Haggard's definitely running for Congress. I kind of hope he doesn't win. We're going to talk about a couple of his bills, too, because there were some things that I saw in committee meeting that he was talking about last night that he didn't want to talk, that he didn't bring up. But I watched the committee meeting. All right. Sorry, Vicky. Can't share my opinion with you. What about old Lemonade Stan Blake Johnson? Can I share my opinion with you? By the way, there's a video last year. He was crying, legitimate shedding tears during a committee meeting. I clipped it. It'll be out this week. Make sure you pay attention to indie reporting. You go on media and you'll see it. So nothing there either, huh? Marine Bow. Yeah. Boys, smash or pass? No, thanks. Sorry, Greasy. Nothing happening over there. But anyway, listen, I'm not hitting the farm for that one. Let's share an opinion with Animal Farm. Still nothing, of course. So, of course, there's nothing that we can contact them by. And this is just simple communication, people. I mean, hey, I want to email you. And us, honestly, but I know it was directed to me. Paul Hart was directing some of his hate mail towards me this morning. And I just got so wound up about it, too. And I was like, you know what? So I made sure that I replied that because he was talking about me, because there's multiple people on the Indie Reporter site. And I thought about, I want to give you a clear-cut example of what not to do. And I really debated on doing this because I was told to be a cute and sweet little guy, which I am sometimes, but I just can't hold it in. Listen, I can't hold it in. I gotta go. I gotta show it. This was from last December, all right? And this was an email that I sent to Michael Paul Hart because I was watching the AI stuff. And during one of the videos, Dan Booth said, hey, about you guys having a previous meeting, and I couldn't find it. You know, it's pretty easy to find these videos overall. You just there's a search function for it. And I asked Paul Hart, hey, am I missing it or is it not recorded? Also, and one of the things he talked about was like having a PDF, and there was some Lenovo guy. So what does he say? Oh, I'm sorry, Channel 16 is responsible for recording these meetings. If you aren't able to locate a specific meeting, I recommend reaching out to them. And also regarding the presentation that he got from Rob from Lenovo, he is qualified to share the information from the public. So not only is Michael Paul Hart saying, go fuck yourself, go find the video yourself, but he's also saying, hey, go fuck yourself, go ask Rob for the PDF. And all I'm going to say is, great. Hey, thanks for putting on your big boy shoes and just giving me the middle finger. So I didn't even get an email back from him and said, hey, was there a meeting before April 25th? That's all I wanted to know. And he said, go look. Go ahead and look. And, you know, these are the things that I'm talking about when I say the GOP needs work. These are the things when I say Michael Paul Hart can't be trusted. Because if you, yeah, Lenovo. You know, if these are the kind of emails that you are getting back from the people that we pay that are allegedly supposed to represent us, what the fuck are we doing? And I know these are the things that pisses me off so much. So GOP, guess what? When you guys are getting mad because I'm talking crap about you, this is why. Proof right here. So moving on, off my soapbox now. And listen, the other thing, too, is I saw John. He had posted on a preview on Sunday, and, you know, we already talked about this. But you were saying that it's because they don't listen to me. I don't care if they don't listen to me. In fact, the reason why you're even in this position is because they're not listening to me. Because I know mostly everything. You know, I know how to fix this whole thing, but none of you ever want to email me back. You just want to scam everybody and put all these hopeful stuff. And I will tell you what, during the mayor's race, this is going to be completely different from Merritt and from Shreve. I mean, you guys better make sure that you have somebody good in there. I know Carrasco is probably going to run for mayor. I think probably John Couch will take another stab at it, but who knows? But here's the thing. I'm tired of you guys losing in Marion County and saying, well, we actually care. Or when Elster puts an email out there and is like, actually, we're winning. We did it. We got 60-40. Hey, awesome. Because we haven't had that since 2019. Awesome. I'm glad that you guys helped out a gun grabber that flipped the switch as soon as he got in Congress, where he said, hey, actually, I would never vote for Trump. And then now he's putting out Trump stuff Great. Awesome. And here's the other part, too. Michael Paul Hart is totally bending the knee to Democrats, him on this whole weed platform. And, the fact that I saw him like a week ago, and then I asked him about the 15-minute city, this is the part that pisses me off so much. I know I'm ranting here, but I want to really stress this point before we get into the news and then into the bills. We got plenty of time. There's only like 50 tabs open, so I think we'll be okay. But this guy said that he wants Indianapolis to be the smartest city in the country, which is AI, obviously. And then I asked him about the 15-minute city, and he's like, what's that? I was like, how are you leading this whole thing about AI and you don't know anything about the 15-minute city? And then when I brought it up during the meeting, and everybody was scoffed. They're like, oh, what are you talking about? And I said, like, basically a surveillance state, all right? Cameras everywhere, facial recognition, the precursor to social credit score, all that stuff. And everybody scoffed at me like, oh, he would never totally screw us over. He's got an R in front of his name. Really? Because Holcomb didn't totally screw over Indiana, didn't totally screw us over? Oh, because he has an R in front of his name. How did that turn out? Trusting all Republicans, huh? So my whole point is this. I'm tired of them being hypocrites. I'm tired of them being frauds. I'm tired of them being liars. And this really just started recently, too, where like, I can't do it anymore. I'm not going to those meetings anymore. I can't trust them because they just don't care. And that's a big problem for me. And, if it's not a problem for you and you just want to believe whatever they say, go for it. Because, don't forget that I'm not going to say anything about Natalie Goodwin, but even though she's good friends with Allie Bartlett, when I brought up this whole Allie Bartlett situation, by the way, she tried gaslighting me like a week or two ago. Like nobody did anything. And I brought it up to everybody. I even brought it up to Micah. And nobody wanted to do anything. Nobody wanted to talk about it. It's like, hey, you know what? That's what happens with lobbyists, So whatever. Go ahead and be a bunch of cups. Hang out with Greg Taylor at AJ's and while he's serving roofie coladas. So anyway, let's get into the news. This was very interesting. Cernovich brought this up, and this is like perfect timing when I talk about Republicans. Democrats are out for blood under the Biden regime in Trump's first term. It never occurred to them that there would be consequences. Republicans, who has a cuck fetish, 100%, especially in Marion County, brag, we don't do tit for tat. Yeah, and this is about taking the high road, and we got to stop it. They would put us against the wall if they had a chance. They want to bleed Marion County dry. Don't you understand? That's why when the state house is like, we'll give you money, but you're going to waste it. Why would we give you money? It's like, we can put that money towards something else. And we know people are moving to Hamilton County. I mean, look at everything that they're building over there. But tap, tap, tap. All right, so like I said, Victoria Wilburn sent the Capitol Police after me. If you need a quick reminder, the week that I filed for candidacy for city council, I get a call from the Capitol Police saying that Vicky Wilburn over here, little shark face, she was saying that I was posting pictures of her kids and their medical information online. And guess what? They said they couldn't find anything. But what happens? She gets an award for it. She gets an award from the Indiana Association of Chiefs Police. Really? All right. Well, fuck you. But guess what, folks? That's what happened to me this morning. My account got locked, and then I had to prove to everybody that I was actually a real person. But this is very interesting. This was after we replied to Michael Paul Hart, like literally minutes after we replied. Well, maybe not minutes, maybe like an hour. And I was like, what the hell just happened? We go back and forth with people on on social media, on Twitter. This has never happened before. Also, guess who has me blocked? Well, us blocked, really. Old Diego Morales. Yep, he finally blocked Indie Reporter. Funny enough, though, so Micah Beckwith now has an official Lieutenant Governor Twitter page, but he's not allowing comments. And Diego used to do that. And I'm not exactly sure why. So if anybody has a contact to Diego or to Micah, ask him why and let me know. I'm very curious about that because nobody else does it. But guess who else came back into town? My own shipbag state representative, Justin Moed. And what's the first thing that he does at the committee meeting? He starts Hold on. Let me disappear for a second. Yup. What does he do? Huh? What does he do? He thinks he's back in Colombia again, jerking off some rando cock right now. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. He's got that technique, boys. He's ready for it. He's ready for the finish. It's almost getting there. Bah, look at that. Unbelievable, huh? And what do I get? Like the week that he comes back, I get this crap. I get the Frank mail. I get a legislative survey 2 weeks after the deadline. Like we're supposed to be able to do anything about it. Of course, Moet sucks, but mad voters as mad as usual. High alert bills. These are pretty good. I kind of went through some of them. Not bad. Pretty based, of course. But this got some traction. I can't handle catfishers, okay? So if your profile pic is going to be you, make sure it's you. And I didn't even post it. It was somebody else that posted it on the Indie Reporter. And just like, this needs to stop because we all agree, hey, stop faking us. Stop being a fraud. This thing got 8,300, almost 8,400 views. Oh, man, he got so mad about this thing. And we weren't even calling him fat. We were just calling him fake. That's all. I'm going to skip that. It was basically Democrat states don't have enough money because they waste it all the time. And they're kind of in a deficit. Now, whenever you hear deficit, it's not that they are spending money they don't have. It's that they have to raise taxes or fines or something like, hey, all these programs and all these things that we're supposed to do, we don't have the money for it. So there was one of it. Where was it? One was in Washington State. The deficit is projected up to $12 billion over the next 5 years. They don't have enough money because they spend it all. And I checked their census. They actually have people moving there. I don't know why. But don't forget, we have over 1,200, almost 1,300 bills. Only 20 have completed. A lot of them are in third reading right now. So that's been really interesting. But former governor candidate Jennifer McCormick, she has action needed. Listen, hey, Jennifer needs some action. Hey. Anybody want to help Jenny with some action? Help her out. Help Jenny with some action. McCormick needs some action. So I checked this out. She's basically just talking about IDs, of how you can't use your college ID to vote anymore. That's one of the bills. And guess what? A state ID is less than $10, all right? It's like $9. That's it. You just got to prove of where you live and who you are. So another bill that's coming up right now is this whole funding for the road formula. It's a huge problem, of course. And in the bill, they were talking about delivery fees and wheel tax hikes. Now, in Indianapolis, we are not maxed out on the wheel tax. Very surprisingly, honestly. Give it to old booze bag Hogsett, but he's just like, nah, that's okay. But, and yes, I did hear that they're going to be getting rid of the delivery fees. Jim Pressel was kind of making fun of people. It's like, listen, you can't have another 50 cents for a delivery fee. What are we even talking about? You're already paying like a crazy amount to have food delivered to you. What's another 50 cents or $1? And I was like, I don't do that shit, so I don't know. I'm not paying $20 for a scoop of ice cream when I could go pay $3. So Senate Joint Resolution 21. So this would basically Article 5. It would put term limits on for people in Congress, and they joined a bunch of other states. There's a lot of good conversation on it. I watched it. We posted it up on Indie Reporter for the Aaron Freeman part. Mike Young talked about it, the left and the right, as you can see here. Freeman voted against it, along with all the Democrats. Was there another? Oh yeah, Tomes voted against it too. I think there were a couple. Yeah, Kreider voted against it, and Mike Young, he voted for it, but he made a good point that if you are pro term limits, why are you not self-limiting yourself then? If you're such as, hey, I believe in term limits, then why don't you just term limit yourself? Otherwise you're just a fraud and you're a fake. It's almost like, no, I need daddy to tell me that it's time's up. I need to go somewhere else. And Freeman made a good point too. He's like, all right, so what? You're gonna go to the House, and then term limits no more. Gonna go to the Senate. Gonna go somewhere else, and blah 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 blah, and just switch all over the place. And here's been my bitch for a little while about this. I was pro term limits, but then maybe for Congress, probably for Congress, but definitely not in the state, because there's nobody to replace anybody. And if you go to these meetings, what do you mostly see? Boomers. I'm 41. I'm usually like the youngest one, or I'll be 41 in like 2 weeks. I'm usually the youngest one there. Are they? I don't want to say the room grooming, but grooming somebody that's going to replace them. Who's going to be the next person in line? Who are you going to be passing the torch to? And Micah Beckwith is obviously leading the charge on this whole thing. But like I said to him, what are you doing about it, huh? Why aren't you helping people get elected? Oh, that's right, because you live in Hamilton County in a safe red area. Don't worry about us peasants over in Marion County. Let's just keep everything in the areas that are red. Let's keep them red. Not like, hey, let's go into the battlefield. Let's go into the front lines and tackle Democrats head on. Because guess what? That's what they're doing. They're going into your backyard. They're trying to turn Hamilton County blue. Carmel's basically a couple of years away from turning blue. I mean, I'll be surprised. Finkham's in Holcomb Republican, so she'll get 8 years. All right, so let's talk about some bills and how dumb they are. Yes, I talk shit about GOP. All right, guess what? Democrats get their own lickings too. House Bill 1517 establishes an American Professional Football Day as a state holiday. Listen, really? I'm not calling you old, David, I promise. But listen. We're all old. So how are we not going to have like a state holiday for voting? Really? That's all I'm saying. Like, why do we need to have a professional football day? These sports ball people, these like standard conversations that you have with people that don't really know what's going on in the world, or kind of want to keep their head in the sand too. So dumb. But our own person who got the reward, Vicky Wilborn, the one who calls the state cops on people for making false accusations, where is it at? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. She designates the Indiana bat as the official state mammal of Indiana. Hey, somebody in the chat, can you tell me who the state mammal is? Does Indiana even have a state mammal? And why would you want a bat? Did we not learn anything from COVID? I mean, really? You're really a bat? Why? Because she's a vampire? Huh? She sucks the life out of people and calls the cops on people off of false accusations? Really? What a terrible, terrible animal. What a terrible, terrible woman, too. Yeah, you know what she is? She's batshit crazy. That's what it is. Exactly what it is. All right, so some of the bills that I've been keeping an eye on this week, too. This one hits near and dear to my heart because I had to deal with this stuff when I was living in North Virginia. Yeah, I got to get rid of this. Sorry, Moed. Eat shit. You're not getting any legislative survey. Oh, yeah, so he's Jerk-Off Justin now. He's no longer Masochist Moed. All right, so vehicle emissions. This will basically prevent 65 and older from having to do emissions testing. Quick rundown. If none of you, well, actually, one of you lives in Gary that's watching right now. Maybe, I don't know if you are. So, yeah, you know what the emissions are about. So how it normally works is that from 2001 and newer, so every car 96 and newer, it goes off of OBD2, onboard diagnostics generation 2. And it's that little 16-pin connector underneath your driver's side dash. That's normally where they are. So every single car from 96 and newer has a certain amount of, I knew you remembered. Those things are hard to forget, especially the drive-on emissions testing. So every car has a monitor is what it is. It's for oxygen sensors, for a catalyst converter, your evaporative emissions. There's multiple of them, secondary air sometimes. And it basically monitors the entire car during these certain test procedures. The car is monitoring itself basically every time that you drive it. But they have to be set for you in Northwest Indiana, in Lake County, and Porter County, and all of Illinois. You have to get emissions attested. So you go in there, they plug it in, they say, oh, all your monitors are set. Or, oh, only one monitor is not set. You got to keep driving it. It's free, by the way. That part's free. It's not free, really. It's taxpayer funded, of course. Oh, LaPorte. Yeah, well, you're in LaPorte County. Lake and Porter had to. So I'm surprised LaPorte doesn't. They're like right there. Like right before Michigan that does require them. That's interesting. So anyway, well, if you have a 96 and older car, it has to be driven on a dyno, which is really cool if you've never been in it. Some crackhead basically drives your car into a dyno, and then they drive it literally with the rollers on there, like up to a certain speed, and then down, and then up and down. And it's basically measuring hydrocarbons, CO2, CO, NOx, all these things, and making sure that you are emissions friendly. Now, this one I thought was interesting because it would make sure that if you're 65 and older, I'm not sure if they have a year of a car that they don't have to do it anymore. But I know people in Indianapolis have thought about doing this, but like the amount of the testing sites and finding the people and everything, and also you would be forcing people to fix their car. That's basically the whole deal of it. One could say like Big Auto is like, hey, we need to get your cars fixed. We need to make more money. And there's designated shops that are allowed to work on the car too. But I thought this was interesting. I was listening to it only because like I'm very familiar with the whole emissions testing. Carbon sequestration. So David Waters, by the way, and Mike Morris, I don't think they spoke on this bill on 1104. I might be wrong, but they did speak about carbon sequestration today, and it was just about I don't think this was about cleaning up language for it. And David Waters had a really good testimony, and something that I did not know either. So carbon sequestration is basically carbon storage. Imagine if since everybody farts, everybody's going a little toot toot out of their butthole. It smells, it's emissions, it's toxic. Think of the cow farts. And they're saying, well, we need to put it somewhere. And so they're like, you know what? We're going to put it underground. Well, it's liquid. I did not know that it was liquid CO2, which I thought was kind of wild. And he made a point. He's like, where in the world does basically the earth produce liquid CO2? Am I right, David, or am I wrong? If you're still watching anyway. So that was a very interesting comment. And he literally folded up $1 and he put it on the podium. It's like, if I'm wrong on my math, I mean, this is like a 5-minute testimony. I'll post it tomorrow. He's like, I bet you. If you win, you get this $1. And of course, nobody took him on the bet. It was very amusing. It's always entertaining. Mike Morris did a good job in his public testimony too. Firearms financial transactions. So this was like all right. Thank you, David. All right, always right. I should have tagged you on Facebook too, by the way. That's my bad. Drew asked about the video, and I posted it on there and tagged Drew. I'll tag you after the show. So anyway, this basically is like so gun stores don't get debanked. This was a big W, I thought, from Craig Haggard. If I'm reading this right, good for him. Some of his other ones aren't that great. Like this. Listen, we all talk about anti-Semitism and everything, but we also know that Craig is going to be running for Congress. And who's like the biggest donors for Congress? AIPAC, which is an Israel lobby. So my theory is that's why he's putting this on there. He's basically saying, it's like, give me money for when I run it for Congress, just like Jefferson Shreve did, because he was AIPAC endorsed. Protection of property rights. Squatter law. Hey, bum, get out of my place. And this one was pretty cool. The bill defines a squatter because in legalese, you need to make sure everything is defined. And it defines a squatter as an individual who occupies the residential real property of another who does not have and never had a rental agreement, 2, permission of the owner, or 3, another legal interest in the residential real property. Now, might this be weaponized? Maybe. But at least we have some definitions now, which is always a big plus. Driving without a license. Of course, we have this whole immigration problem going on right now. I'm going to be speed running these now. Let's see. What is this? As the following criminal offenses for an individual who knowingly or intentionally operates a motor vehicle on a highway and has never received a valid driver's license. Actually, this is not for the immigration one, but this is actually a pretty good bill. From Zimmerman. Don't forget, Jim Lucas will be coming in at 9 o'clock on Mouthwash, a minty take on politics on the Chateau de Mars Hill Network. Listen, remember how I talked about catfishing? Listen, we got this strong Chad, Jimmy Bean Lucas, and then we got, what the fuck is that? Huh? Come on, Jim. Help a guy out, all right? We can't be doing this catfishing. I would say this is boozing up, Jim, and then this is weed Jim. Yeah, that's what this is. This is pothead Jim, and this is whiskey Jim. Hell yeah. Whiskey Jim W. That's what I'm talking about. But anyway, Hamilton County Sheriff's Office has introduced a new immigration commission enabling deputies to partner with ICE. This is why Hamco is winning, okay? Instead, Chief Bailey gets all cucked out and be like, oh, we're actually not going to do anything. Not that they can do anything, but he should have just said, yeah, we're going to help them out if we can. If they need our help, we'll do it. But obviously, that's not our job. Even Rick Snyder from the FOP said it too. And then Braun, what did he do today? Oh, E.O. Braun, E-I-E-I-O. Braun, Mike Brawny, like a brawny towel, cleaning up the mess from the Holcomb administration. What does he do? Orders Indiana agencies to help federal immigration crackdown. As usual, I don't know. I think this is kind of a big W for Braun. Oh, yeah, tomorrow, don't forget, he is having his State of the State Union, basically, kind of like what presidents do, but it'll be for Indiana. 7 o'clock p.m., I will be doing a live watch-along. It's already on the live part. It's already saved on YouTube. Make sure you watch it. But immigration notice. This actually got brought up the other day. Yeah, how long ago? That's what I want to know. Was this like 15 years ago? He hasn't been in there for that long, has he? Let's see here. Let me get the fiscal note. The bill provides that in the event that a law enforcement officer arrests an individual for a felony or misdemeanor and has a probable cause to believe that the individual is not lawfully present in the U.S., the officer's law enforcement agency shall notify the county sheriff of the probable cause during the individual's intake process. There we go. Just more safeguards and keep it going. This one's pretty based. Authority to deny enrollment to unlawful immigrants. I think I talked about this last week, but I definitely talked about it on Saturday. Secretary of Education Jenner, she is obviously, she's a firecracker. She was on Abu's show. Abu. Hey, Abu, don't cry, Abu. Hey, I know your lawsuit isn't going so well, Abu, but don't cry, Abu. I wouldn't cry. I also wouldn't sue anybody for trying to defame me when I know that they're actually right. But she was on Abu's show, and she said from 2023 till now, there have been 20,000 non-English students entered into the schools. Not good, obviously, not good. This is a huge stress, not on just taxpayers, but teachers. They don't know how they don't know the language, they don't know the culture. So what do they start doing? Which I have heard, they're sexually assaulting each other. I mean, the boys are sexually assaulting girls. They're breaking stuff. They're causing a huge ruckus in the classrooms. And obviously, the parents don't care. But this is going to be a problem because back in the 80s, there's a Plyler versus Doe. But this does set like, hey, I wonder if the states can do anything. Just like Roe v. Wade, right? I wonder if anything might get changed on this. But obviously, Rokita, if this does go through, Rokita's going to have a lot on his hands. But Lucas, listen, if you guys are watching this, write down this bill, 1169, and someone asked Jim Bean, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, don't bogart that joint. Yeah, Jim, I was trying to avoid hitting a deer, Lucas. Maybe I'll find the cop cam footage and post it on Indie Reporter this week. Just as a Throwback Thursday. That's maybe what I'll do for Throwback Thursday. So access to birth control program. Who does not have access to birth control, huh? Or here's an idea. Don't let some rando nut inside of you. Seems pretty easy to me, but I don't know. Don't get knocked up by some bar hookup. I thought this was crazy. So this is how you dangle the carrot. The bill provides that a taxpayer is entitled to a credit against the taxpayer's state income tax liability in a taxable year. So if 20% multiplied by the safe gun storage expenses are incurred by the taxpayer, is this what they're going to try and do to try and get people to have gun storage, basically? I want to know, is this a tax credit afford gun storage and then you have to mark it down on your taxes. Like, I bought gun storage. I want a 20% tax credit. Now, is it on the storage thing itself, or is it all? I think you guys should ask the old Jim Bean about it. $15.97. That's what I want to know. So we got 15. I'm going to write it down right now because I will be in the mouthwash chat asking him. All right, so I got that down. Next, medical marijuana, which is gross. Where is it? Hey, medical marijuana boys, huh? Hey, man. Listen, would you like whiskey or would you like medical marijuana? Choose your fighter. Anyway. All right, self-defense from Jimmy O. Lucas. That's the one I'm curious about too. Bill specifies that a reasonable force, including pointing of a loaded or unloaded firearm for purposes of arrest or to prevent an escape or for self-defense. That's what I want to know. Like, especially if you're in a business, if somebody's trying to get loud with you and they're just like, "Hey, homie, hey, stick them up," and they point a gun at you, like, no, not happening. I want to know. Anyway, employing an unauthorized alien. I mean, this seems pretty cut and dry. Requires certain employers to use the E-Verify program to verify the work eligibility status of all employees of the employer hired after June 30th. This is kind of like a slippery slope because then how are you going to know? This is going to be where you have to register, but you kind of have to register anyway, right? Through taxes? I don't know. Hopefully he'll talk about it. He's got a lot of bills. This is what Lovely Lucy is going to get snail trailed on right here. Bullion depositories. I'm basically using gold or silver as a legal tender. Right here. Yeah, legal tender. I mean, this is going to get all the libertarians nice and wet for sure. They're going to have to use some of that brawny towel to clean themselves up. Of course, you know, we can't just talk about Lucas. We got to talk about Hunley. So apparently Hunley sends her kids to private school, and she's this huge advocate for public schools. She even used to be an IPS principal, but she sends her kids to private school. And guess what, Hunley? Don't be sending the Capitol Police after me, all right? Because obviously, you learn your lesson from Wilborn. But it's not just that. It's about abortion. So this will reestablish the license of abortion clinics. So basically, you're just going to have all these baby killing facilities all over the place. Oh, what's that? You got an abort? Oh, you got knocked up by some rando nut job? Oh, don't worry. Let's take care of that. No more accountability for your consequence, basically. And some biomarker testing for what is this? Preclamp. I don't know. How do you pronounce that? Preeclampsia? I don't know. Whatever. I don't think this one was that bad. This one is bad, though. Requires a person wishing to sell, trade, or transfer a firearm to another person to transact the transfer through a dealer. Oh, I want to sell a gun to somebody. Oh, well, you actually have to go to a gun dealer for that transaction to happen. There has to be a middle guy. Hey, you don't have to do that for cars, huh? No thanks. Eat shit. Firearm storage, same thing. That you have. Provides that a person having a care of a dependent or recklessly, knowingly, or intentionally fails to secure a loaded firearm into the person's residence or vehicle commits neglect of a dependent. So basically, if you have a kid and it shoots himself or somebody else, you're gonna get in trouble for it. I think it's a level 5, level 5 felony. But here's the deal. No, it's level 6 too. You think Ryan Mears is going to do that? No, it's not. All right. He's going to give him a plea deal. That's how this stuff works in Marion County. You can have all the laws that you want, but unless they're enforced, it don't mean shit. Moving on. This one I thought was pretty good. Unless I'm wrong. Provides that a PAC may not make total annual contributions in excess of an aggregate of $5,000 apportioned to any manner to a specific candidate for a school board office. I thought that was pretty good. I think that's fine. I think there should be more of that, actually. I think there should be a limit on how much money someone can bring in. All right, all right, so last couple of them. I got, just over 5 minutes. We're going to stop at 8:50. So we're doing that for the rule from now on. School chaplains. When I was at that Wayne Township meeting, there was a woman there. I don't know her name. John knows her name. Okay, all right, yeah, there we go. Yeah, Polly had it. Yeah, I knew it had something to do with pregnancy, and I knew it wasn't that bad. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's something to do with biomarkers. Hey, you know what? I can't get preggo, so it is what it is. But anyway, so last week at the Wayne Township meeting, there was a lady that does stuff with school choice, and I took a picture of all the bills, all the education bills that they were keeping an eye on. There was 23 of them. So on Saturday's show, if you missed out, we were going through some of them. This one was very interesting because this one can get weaponized real easily. The bill allows the principal or superintendent of a public school, including a charter school, to employ or approve as a volunteer a school chaplain if certain requirements are met. Now, what are those requirements? That's what I would like to know. So the chaplain would provide secular advice, guidance, and support services. Now, can you imagine a Satanist coming in there and then just screwing with everybody's mind? You got like the Satanist dressed up like some drag queen with a giant dildo stuck on their forehead, like some unicorn. Yeah, unicorn from hell. No thanks. I mean, that Moed would definitely be for that, but I don't think it's good for children. I think this thing will be weaponized. I don't know if this has gone anywhere. Yeah, it hasn't gone anywhere. I don't think it's going anywhere either. All right, so this one got brought up a little bit ago. Went right before the show, I looked this up. They actually had talks about it. I haven't watched the committee meeting yet. I'm going to do that tonight. The bill introduced by Ron Lauer would require county sheriffs to join a federal program which local law enforcement to identify potential undocumented immigrants in custody. Now, here it is right here. Obviously, nothing has happened with it. I thought it got talked about today because it was during the committee meeting. Hold on real quick. It was in local government, HB 1158. Hold on. Hey, you guys going to watch me do this in real time. Or is it local government? There it is. Is today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. What are we talking about? Okay, so it's on there. I think 1208. Yeah. Okay, so it did show tonight. So it is on. It's in the recorded section now. I'm going to watch this tonight, and then I'll let you guys know. Not that you care. If I find anything, go on to Indie Reporter, and then you'll see. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about, though, is the small modular nuclear reactor. I've been doing a lot of research on this thing, okay? Basically, I have to learn how nuclear reactors work. In the last couple of weeks, I have been studying upon this. A lot of repetition, a lot of research, some help from a multitude of people, which has been very convenient for me, especially breaking everything down in Indiana and who are getting the handshakes and hand jobs. This thing is probably going to pass. This basically is just a pilot program to do research on SMRs, what the impact is going to be, how much they're going to cost. There are other SMR bills that would give money to people like NewScale or Purdue. Purdue is really big on it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not on NewScale, but it'll basically start having it where you spend taxpayer money on an unproven technology, by the way. And the earliest that's going to show up is 5 to 7 years, maybe. But 10 years ago, they said it was going to be in 10 years. And 20 years ago, they said it was going to be in 10 years. So I think this is going to be like E85. We're trying to find some alternative fuel. You're making everything change, and then it actually doesn't work that well. And hey, maybe we should have just stuck with unleaded gasoline and just make sure that the cars run a little bit better. And increase the emissions on it, stuff like that. Now, what I think the SMRs are going to be used for are for data centers. But here's my problem with it, and the Democrats agree with me too. Who's going to be paying for it? The taxpayers are, of course, and I'm sure they'll be giving incentives or abatements or whatever. It'll be like some IADC bullshit where we fund some billion-dollar data center with SMRs, and then but it has to be on the taxpayers' dime, because then you have I think they started a regulatory agency on it yesterday, or not yesterday, but last year for the URC. I think that's what happened. I might be wrong on that. I'm a little off on my data, trying to make sure that I'm completely right on this thing. But I will tell you right now, I am not convinced. Nobody in the U.S. actually has manufactured an SMR yet. NewScale is probably the only one that has actually haven't designed, where they build parts for it for safety, making sure those are okay. But like nobody actually has one running, and the whole propaganda is right now, yeah, literally zero. The only people that I could find that actually have built these is Russia and China. But you know, China's still building coal plants. So what are they using it for? It's got to be something that's out in the wilderness. Maybe is the only thing I could think of. But still, it seems like as big as a Walmart warehouse. It's not like it's the size of a car or whatever. It's still pretty big. But my whole point of that is we have to be aware of what's going to be going down the pipe, because they are pushing this stuff really hard. And the propaganda that they're pushing is, hey, we got to get in while the getting is hot. Because if we get in too late, the materials are going to be too much. The people that are building them is going to be too much. We're going to have all these people that are building all these other SMRs somewhere else. Like, all right, well, tell you what. Like every other state that does something, California is a good example. We'll wait for them to do it, fuck it up, and then we'll make sure it's like, well, hey, thanks for letting us know it actually doesn't work. Just like windmills, just like solar panels, just like all this other green energy crap that hasn't amounted to anything. So I beg you, just pay attention to the SMR stuff. It's going to get kind of wild, especially this year, and especially like in March, April, because all the bills will be going down the pipeline. But that's all I got for now. I mean, there's other stuff I could talk about, but I'm at my limits. I got to cut it off. So don't forget, check on Indie Reporter. Go on to Whitty Reviews. No video this Saturday. No video next Tuesday. I will be doing Apple imports and exports, possibly in this country, possibly not in this country. Then I don't know what I'm going to do for the next video. Because I think I'm interviewing Johnny GOP when I come back. So be sure on the lookout for that. We'll know what happens for sure. But until next time.